I wish I could tell you a story about the day I realized I was stupid. Fixed my mistake and strolled off into the sunset of wisdom. But that's not how this story goes. Realizing I'm dumb as hell wasn't a single aha moment. It's more like a recurring series, like when I'm listening to smart people and have no idea what they're talking about. Or when I pick up a book that I thought was simple, only to wrestle with every damn page. This isn't new, I've felt this way for years. But the funny thing is, I'm not a teenager in the throes of an anxiety crisis due to a pimple on my cheek. I'm a middle-aged professor of critical thinking of all things. Why do I feel stupid? Being an old-ish fart gives you time to stew on things, and stew I have. If you've ever felt this way, stick around to hear where this feeling comes from and what can we do with it. In this episode, I'm tearing stupidity apart to see what it's made of and whether it's as useless as it seems. Maybe it's not the dead end we think it is. Join me for a few minutes. Let me start by doing what every dumb philosopher would do: define stupidity. Really, what is it? I'd say it's a feeling of intellectual inadequacy, that moment when we realize we're not capable of grasping some concept or an idea, or when we feel small in front of a gigantic intellectual task, like me trying to open a bag of candy without tearing everything apart, or me understanding measure theory. It's a moment of friction. Our sense of self smacks into its limits, exposing our incapability in all its glory. Normally, we're experts in lying to ourselves, but in these moments, all lies fall flat, and we know the deepest truth. We're just not good enough. It's tempting to see these moments as the end of the line, the death of the cozy little stories we tell ourselves about who we are. But they're not. As Socrates, the OG philosopher, learned long time ago, realizing your limitations is not the end, it's the beginning. We can't gain wisdom unless we realize we don't have it. So stupidity may actually be a prerequisite for growth. But how did I learn this? Entering graduate school at the ripe age of 30 was one of the toughest intellectual experiences of my life. I really mean this, and I don't exaggerate. I'm a guy who survived civil war. I don't scar that easily. But trying to wrap my mind around a meaningful PhD thesis exposed all the ways in which my mind was limited. I felt stupid, not just in front of my advisor, but also my fellow classmates. I thought everyone was smarter than me. But then I came across an amazing short article by Martin Schwartz, a microbiologist, entitled "The Importance of Stupidity for Scientific Research." In it, he describes a similar experience and said something that really struck a chord in me. The more comfortable we become with being stupid, Schwartz says, the deeper we will wade into the unknown, and the more likely we are to make big discoveries. When you learn more about science and its workings, you understand how profoundly true this is. Stupidity is not something to escape from. It's also not just a philosophical requirement for learning. It's a fundamental element of any discovery. But I get it, stupidity is a feeling and its roots are buried deep in our psyche. It's hard to escape and not be affected by it. Our societies frown upon it and consider it an embarrassment. In Bosnia, where I come from, embarrassing yourself by trying something new is one of the greatest mortal sins ever. Few people veer beyond conventional thinking and doing because they fear the primal judgment of the village. Look at this idiot, embarrassing himself. In such a context, it's much better not to even try. I feel that sting even now, thousands of miles and more than a decade away from my place of birth. Every time I'm about to hit the publish button for a new video on YouTube, I fight those village demons in my mind again. It's stupid, don't do it, you're so lame, people will laugh at you, I hear them say. But that's bullshit, and not just philosophically. Even practically, to innovate and create anything new, you have to risk being and looking dumb. You see, it takes a certain amount of risk to do anything worthy. A life well lived is the life of friction. For Nietzsche, the famous German philosopher known for breaking conventions, children possess the highest level of spirit because they're playful, creative, and willing to look stupid. He knew that greatness demands folly. We must be like children. Kids love theme parks, perhaps because they know that life is a roller coaster in more ways than one. Stupidity is like a train you ride on. One moment you're very low to the ground, buried in shit and worthlessness, the other you're flying high, thinking you're finally caught God by the balls, assuming he has a pair. That's the tricky thing with stupidity. It ebbs and flows, and the dynamic looks anything but ordered to you. In my case, every time I think about myself in the past, I can't help but cringe. Man, was I ridiculously dumb in so many situations. I had dumb beliefs, my thoughts were a mess, I trusted the wrong people, idealized retarded ideologies, and looked up to wrong role models. Almost any moment in the past, even just the last year, seems to me an example of what a moron I was. I catch myself thinking, phew, I'm so lucky I'm not that stupid anymore, but then it hits me. If I see my past self as stupid from the present vantage point, will these current beliefs look stupid to me a year or two from now? Spoiler alert, they probably will. It comforts me though that I'm not the only one feeling this way. Another German philosopher, whose writings make me feel stupid very often, Gottfried Hegel, described the human mind as composed of stages. At each stage we think we know the truth, only to discover later that we were naive and wrong. But that's not abnormal. To reach a fuller truth, the mind has to pass through wrong, partial, even ridiculous beliefs. Similar to other thinkers, Hegel knew that growth can only come from contradictions. What seemed smart collapses into nonsense, forcing the leap forward. Without that collapse, without stupidity exposed, there's no movement. So here I am, saying these things out in the open and thinking they contain a kernel of truth that might be helpful to somebody feeling like I do. I'm aware now that in a year or two this video will sound dumb too, but hey, I'm willing to risk that. By now I learned at least that there is no cure for stupidity. It's a lifelong companion of any thinking creature. It's like a signpost telling you that you've reached a certain point and that there's another path ahead. So don't be sad or upset. Take that path and don't worry. There will be plenty of those signposts along the way. This is Think Why, and I'm your critical thinking professor. Thanks for watching another episode. I know these are not Netflix and chill types of videos, but I hope they help you think better in these crazy times. If you like them, subscribe. If not, leave an angry comment and I'll say something wise and inspirational in response. See you in the next one.